Morbius, the movie of all time, now has competition with Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Somehow Shazam 2 managed to perform worse on its opening weekend than what Morbius did, but it's not for the reasons that you'd think. With Shazam 2 earning only $30 million and Morbius earning $39 million. So I'm not sure what this says about the state of the DCEU, or if this is just a superhero movie trend that's happening, because somehow superhero movies have started to get kind of overbearing and redundant at this point. But although Morbius did poorly because of all the reasons we already know, somehow Shazam 2 did poorly because of basically just the marketing and the timing of the movie in general. It came out at a time when the DCU is already being rebooted, so Shazam is just kind of sandwiched in the middle with no real purpose, because we don't know what's happening to that character. So people basically just asking themselves, why do they have to watch this movie? Like, if this character is going to be completely irrelevant in the future of the DC.
Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe.
And also, this movie had like zero marketing. Like, I probably only saw one trailer of a place marketing this movie. So the advertising department, I think DC already knows that this movie just was going to be a flop. And I think even Zachary Levi confirmed that he didn't have high hopes for this movie to begin with. So I mean, that's really sad, honestly, for the actors of this movie that they've spent so many months working on, to just already know that it's going to be a flop. But it does get deeper than that, because The Rock is now being accused for the poor performance of Shazam 2. And I can kind of see why, because Dwayne's ego could not be any bigger, because the Black Adam movie, that was his movie. Like, whatever he said goes. Like, if he wanted Superman to be in that movie, you know, he showed up in that movie.
It's been a while since anyone's made the world this nervous.
But as soon as Zachary Levi wanted Black Adam to do a cameo in Shazam 2, or I think even the first Shazam, then all of a sudden, like, Dwayne pretends that he did not hear that. Like, that was just tossed out, went right over that massive head of his. So instead of both movies being a success, both of them ended up completely flopping, because the studios, I think, just didn't care about those movies to begin with. And I know a lot of people are blaming James Gunn, but remember, he did not have any input when it came to Shazam. He joined after that movie was already filmed, so like, you can't really blame him. Nothing is really his fault. His DCU hasn't even really started yet.
Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy.
And I think also by him announcing the future of the DCU was a mistake on his part, because as soon as people realized what his plans were for that future, they completely forgot about this Shazam movie and also the Aquaman movie that's later to come in this year. So those two movies are basically scrapped. Like, well, not scrapped, because, like, you know, you shouldn't have to watch a movie just because it's linked to something else. Like, remember the days when people went to watch a movie for the sake of watching a movie, not because it was tied to some massive cinematic universe?
Impossible.
But that's kind of the world we live in at the moment, where if it's not connected to something, and if it's not really relevant to something bigger, then what's really the point? And it is kind of sad, but on the plus side, or negative, so either this video is just going to be a complete sad story, somehow Morbius is getting a sequel. This article is coming from Screen Rant, so do take it with a grain of salt. Sony's MCU adjacent Morbius ended up a critical and commercial failure, but there have been some Morbius 2 updates despite a sequel looking unlikely after Jared Leto's first outing, as the character flopped. While fans have it sitting at 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's $73 million at the domestic box office, makes the movie a flop based on its $75 million production budget. Morbius 2 is not confirmed. Well, I'm sorry for lying to you guys then. Well, very misleading article there, Screen Rant.
Whoops, whoopsie.
But apparently when it was released on Netflix between September 5th and 11th, it streamed almost 7 million times. Not too shabby. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony paid a bunch of people just to stream the movie, so it seemed like it did a lot better, because this movie did make more $1 billion. Also, if you want to morb, then be sure to tap that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. Bad reviews and lackluster box office throws Morbius 2 updates into doubt. But anyways, despite the contrast between Morbius reception and other recent superhero blockbusters, there is ample reason to believe Morbius 2 could still happen given the MCU connections the first movie sets up. Yeah, those connections, I don't know if I would say it's really a connection.
Hope the food's better in this joint.
While there has been no official word to date on Morbius 2 being greenlit, the character of Michael Morbius is destined to feature in some capacity again. Yes, Michael Morbius, amazing character. But anyways, given his ties to other MCU and Sonyverse characters, even if there is not a second movie, he could still pop up in other movies such as the rumored Kraven the Hunter movie or even a Sinister Six film.
Intriguing.
Like at this point, Sony just, like, my goodness, like, I don't know why they are doing all these things to the Spider-Man characters. It is such a shame, honestly. Venom, Kraven the Hunter, they all deserved so much better, and now they're making a Sinister Six film. So are they going to make movies about each single villain? Or, well, I guess not, because they already have Vulture and Mysterio and Morbius and Kraven the Hunter, Venom. So, I mean, like, I guess maybe one more character, one more villain for Sinister Six. Who knows, maybe even Madam Web. Oh yes, that Madam Web is also another movie that is just, like, that movie I'm watching for the plot. And I'll see you guys in the next one.